Yeah. Well, that was another thing, right? Nobody could actually be held accountable for things. So, flunking your job. No, no, no. Everybody did a great job. Everybody did a great job. We can't learn anything. If everybody did the same amount of good, then nobody's, everybody's got to be special. So nobody's special. It's bullshit. Alright, match has been updated to E blah 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 blah. Yeah, everybody gets a participation trophy. We can't have winners and losers. We just have to have losers. Alright, match has been updated to 7B7088. Yeah, so if you can't hold people accountable for any failure, you can't have people be successful either. And if you breed that long enough, what ends up happening is you lose people who are actually being successful because they're not rewarded. And you end up acquiring people, and people stick around who do jack shit, except just, breathe in through their mouth and out through their nose or something like that. Sometimes. And then, your senior position, senior in leadership, turns into just people who have been there longer than other people, which is just trash. Match has been updated. Announcing change for user blah. Player announced. Match has been updated to A5BC. Awesome. Alright. So that'll fix all that trash. So that's going to fix the match ID doesn't roll over, and it's going to fix the dedicated servers not reporting scores or assists. While we're in here, do we want to look at the collision data? So let me see. The movement controller component. Its update gets called by. This is not a component, is it? Because update should be called pre-update. Alright, blah blah blah. What am I looking for? Entity component? Entity actor. Alright, it's the tick function. We update the logic controller last, and then we have the movement controller update, and then what we actually want to do is this logic controller we need to have a post update, because this is where we move our character. So like what we were looking at before was when I'm thinking about I think I'm just going to go ahead and fix the issue that we have right now with the 1 frame delay for collisions. So what we need right here is this logic controller post update. Yeah, we've got this post update tick right here in the animation controller, but what we really want is like right here. So it's like logic controller post move update delta T, and we need to move all of our collision checks for our character into that tick method, so that like, okay, we update all of our controls, so like you're holding right and you hit X and you are now defending, you know, you're now popping up the ball. We move you to where you're supposed to be, and then we do the collision. So we could do it both places, actually. That would be interesting. We should do it both. Yeah, we should do it in the main update and in the post update. That way, because we already capture if you've already hit something. So this will actually help fix both conditions. Yeah, and it's going to read your intentions pretty well. All right, yeah, I believe this should work. And this is a logic controller. Yeah, this is the controller component. Yeah, that's definitely true. I was like, my mom has talked about this a few times, but when I was in high school, there was one class that I just didn't do any of the homework for, and I aced all the tests and quizzes, but none of the homework I ever did, and so as a result, I had an F in the class. Up to this point, and so the teacher like got in touch with my parents, and we're like, I'm gonna have to fail your son because he doesn't do his homework. And my mom's like, okay, do it. And he's like, what? Like you'd be okay with that? It's like, yeah, just tell him you're gonna fail him though, and then fail him if he doesn't do it. It's like, well, usually parents are all pissed and angry. It's just like, tell him to do his fucking homework. So he just took me out in the hall and he's like, you need to do your homework or you're gonna fail the class. I'm like, alright, fine, I'll go do all my homework. I'll have it tomorrow. It's just, yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of calling the bluff, it's like, yeah, there was no bluff. I mean, I was also kind of an asshole to that guy, so. I mean, nobody would have expected that out of me, right? So it's a logic object. Player logic object is the thing, so we're going to update. Good times. Alright, so post move update, we want to go to logic object update. Yeah. Awesome, so we should go ahead and build this and see what it does. Yeah, well, you know, part of school is also to teach you to just shut the hell up and do your fucking busy work. Which is it is a skill. I mean, that's some of what I don't think is emphasized enough is like sitting on your ass and actually doing something that you don't want to do is a skill that you have to practice. And if they framed it a little bit more like that, where it's like you're building self-discipline. Like, yes, you already know the material. Yes, we understand that, but cross your I's, dot your T's, pay your bills at the end of the fucking month. If you don't, you're sabotaging yourself. I don't know. Yeah, that would be useful. It'd be like, you know, maybe we could actually teach self-discipline using useful things. Like, here, go study a foreign language and, you know, drilling it into your head over and over is going to work. Like, that's useful. Even if you already know it, it just makes the neurons that much more connected. But if it's just a whole bunch of crap, then yeah, it's not fun. It's kind of like in college. We had this. One of our professors used to work at NASA, so he had us mathematically prove our code. And you know, he'd like take off points because you accidentally forgot a comma in your like math proof, and you're just like, are you fucking for real? Like, it doesn't even change the mathematical expression that I was showing. You're just digging people to be an asshole. It's like, well, you need to prove everything perfectly. Right. That's why compilers delete your program if it doesn't compile, and then destroys your machine and hard drive, and then sets your garage on fire. So, I mean, if you're writing something for NASA, that might happen, I guess. You might accidentally set the LEM on fire and burn all the astronauts around alive. So maybe he's right. I mean, the other thing everybody hates in school is like what? Group projects? Those are always the worst because you end up somebody does the work and then somebody doesn't do the work. And usually the person doing the work is doing it because they care about what they're doing. They were going to do it anyway, and the person who's not going to do the work doesn't give a shit regardless. But we need to learn to work together as a society. That's all crap. Who cares? Okay, so what we want to do is close all the tabs. We need another event. So event on post move update. So what we're going to want to do is the defendability ground pound ability. No. Well, we'll see. Maybe this will work like what we want. So how many attacks do we actually have? We have ground pound, low hit, high hit. We've also got slide. Is slide anywhere here? Slide ability? Yeah, there we are. And that should be good. So why don't we see how this looks then? Because we shouldn't double hit things, because we already have double hit logic in there. It shouldn't trigger any stupidity. It shouldn't cancel anything because our time should already be set. We should just see double collision volumes, and they should be correct. So let's go do that. Fuck the others. If you want something right, do it yourself. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Look at that wonderful broken stat screen. You gotta just admire that. It's just totally fucked up. Good job, me. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? Yeah, this is gonna help a whole hell of a lot. Blam. The stat screen just marvelous. Yeah. Welcome back, Sinacron. I just put in a fix for the trace tag getting all screwed up. Basically what was going on. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I took a little screenshot of Karakan was saying that it kind of felt like you're missing hits when you should have hit them. So if you're running real fast, this is what we were actually testing. The flying punch has a bigger hit than the upright kick? Probably. Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it does. So what it looks like now. We can I'll just side by side these things. I didn't get an image. What? It's because I hit fucking scroll lock instead of print screen like a chump. Yeah, so this is what it looks like now, and that's what it looked like before. So, yeah, that's gonna vastly improve people thinking they actually hit the ball because they actually now do. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot better. I want the fix as soon as possible. Yeah, it's true. I don't think that sort of thing is hotfix worthy though. That's just normal bug fix. Alright, so fix collision lagging 1 frame behind character movement. That is fixed. So the low kick is also, what, you're saying the low kick is too stupid? So that's the... saying it should maybe be raised up a bit. Because we go over here, we punch the ball, and it goes donk, donk, donk. So if we go to the low hit ability, low hit active, we've got the center location is at 0, 0, 0. And if we're in the high hit ability, or like ground pound, those center locations are, yeah, the center offset is 100 here, and here the offset is 100. What? Okay, that's Y. That's left and right. I need to look at the high hits center offset Z. What the fuck is all this set? High hit center location, repulse location, left and right, center offset. I swear there's something here. Alright, so it is the low hit. So the Z is 1. Z is 1, high hit center location. The pulse offset is to the left. So center offset is to the right. Center location. So we're getting the minimum Z value of this thing, and that's where we're setting the low hit center location to. So that's why it looks like that. So how do we want this to work? Because I want the center location down here, which gives it an angle to knock this thing up. I don't know if it's actually an issue. I mean, we could move it a little bit, like kind of move it back and to the left, perhaps. So the center offset is, it's 100, so maybe if we just made it like turned it in half, and then we what's the radius? Low hit radius. We just made it like 300 or something. Let's see how that looks. I mean, it's pretty big. And yeah, it's too big. It's too big. Maybe all that needs to change is just a very small amount of offsetting. That's fine. Okay. The other thing would be the repulse center offset. Let's make it a little bit more off of him and see if we can do something with that. Because I like the idea of having that, maybe having a little bit more of that deadening effect. Like, I know it doesn't really make sense with the animation, but wait, what? I hate this crap. Where you can't undo stuff in a blueprint. Well, you can undo stuff in a blueprint, but it doesn't really show you very well what you just undid. So, enable low hit reflection. Alright, it's actually enabled. Yeah, we never disabled it. Nah, it needs to be bigger. Bigger! Alright, so that might actually affect gameplay. Yeah, there we are. Yeah. It'd be pretty cool to have something do that. It's the wrong animation for it though. So I'm just going to disable it. So that's enable low hit reflection, false. Yeah, the animation's wrong, but some of it would basically be like if you're standing still or you're slowing down or you're doing something special, that instead of having you actually like punch the ball up and away, the character would instead do like a kind of a moving trap move. So the pop up, when you're facing the opposite direction that the ball's going, like if the ball was coming this direction in and you were doing a pop up, what'll happen is it deadens it kind of, the ball will kind of go up like that, and it'll kind of reflect a bit away based on how fast it was going. But if the ball was coming in like this and you hit it with a pop up, it'll increase the speed based on how fast you're going. So it'd be something like where if you're coming in here, instead of having it, get your momentum, basically you do some sort of like backwards reflect. So this ball, instead of coming this way fast and then going even faster that direction, would instead kind of do something like that, where it would lose a little bit of momentum. You're kind of like doing a backwards set, and it would probably make scoring on the night level super damned easy, but it would also make it so you could do some really cool shit, like get right in front of the goal, do this move, and then it just like, a super fast ball comes in, and then boom, right in. That sort of thing. I'm not really sure what rules. I think it's the pop-up move. But I don't really know the right conditions for it yet, so I'm not going to throw it in there. So we're not going to worry about that. Alright, low kick is too low to the ground. We'll fix that. Enable debug keys in the editor. Alright, that's something I can do. And I've completely stopped doing the telemetry stuff at this point just because. Which thing has all the debug commands? Where is it? Stun? Yeah, here it is. Allow debug is true. Wait, is this true? Alright, this might be really funny. Oh man. Hacks. Alright, so this is the production build. So I'm gonna go into Oregon. Oh, it doesn't let me do it. Alright. So that works at least. Alright, good. Alright, good. but it's not entirely accurate. So if I go to, if I host my own server, I can cheat. That's what it looks like. No, I can't cheat still. Well, alright. Fine, it's just editor only. Good. That's what I thought it was supposed to be, but I was looking at it, I was like, good. Okay, so I can tell Adam the debug keys are actually already enabled, so I can cross that thing off the list. Alright, so I think I've finished fixing those bugs for now. Yeah, there's some keys that basically stun everybody in the match and like throw them around. And I was like, shit, are those active? Like, that'd be a good way to get EG off of you. Just hit the POW button. Alright, so what the hell was I doing here? We fixed a whole bunch of stuff with this. The next thing that we wanted to do is we have our stuff for our matches. We want to... We need to figure out how to make heat maps. Because we have the data here in this list. So we need like a heat map creation thing. And I probably want to do it in Java and then just like post these images as attachments to some email to myself. So why don't we look this up real quick? We need a heat map library for Java. Okay. Alright, so we could try JHeatMap. It looks kind of shitty. Ugh, gross. Alright, so what's the documentation on this? Detailed Java doc is available. Where's the fucking license for this? Alright, so I can go ahead and download this dude's stuff. License, LGPL. let's just look up the quick TLDR legal on that. So okay, so you can copy, distribute, modify the software provided you state modifications and license them. Anything statically linked to the library can only be redistributed under LJPL, but applications that use the library don't have to be. You must allow reverse engineering of your application as necessary to debug and relink the library. Well, we're linking this thing in dynamically with a jar. That's just how it works. It's not a static link. So that's not an issue. It's basically if I change anything in the library, then I have to release it. So why don't we just see how this works? Now the other thing is I could always write my own heat map library. If I'm not super happy with this one. Because it's just writing a fucking picture, right? I'm trying to think. I might want to just write my own thing here. Because this already requires us to throw data into it. Let me look at my tools for YouTube already, because I have some. I've got some image stuff that I've worked on before, like create and register font, apply text to image, apply text to image, add text overlay. Like we can just write the files. So maybe I should just write a heat map thing real quick. That basically, like, you can take a background picture, you can read it in, then you can write data over the top of it with some sort of opacity layer, because that's what we need. We need stuff like that. Yeah, without a GNU license. Yeah, I'll spend another couple minutes here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of like front end, JavaScript things. Like what, fusion charts? Yeah, fuck that. That's all JavaScript. Yeah, well, if I'm actually just working on the actual game, I think creative is a better description. Because if anybody is going to be looking for people working on game development or something, they're probably not going to be looking under actual games. Append C++ to your Google search? Nah, I'm not looking for a C++ heat map. Our backend tool stuff's all Java, so we're not writing C++ heat map tools. That's a waste of time. Don't like it. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of bullshit. Not seeing any good charting libraries, actually, at all, surprisingly enough. Oh, and I definitely did. Alright. So, alright, so an open source, alright, there's chart4j, which is charts and graphs, enables developers to programmatically create charts. All right. So we got general examples, radar chart, XY chart, footer, blah. They have documentation on any of this crap? Ugh. J free chart is 100% free. Java thing is LGPL, of course. Samples. They've got charts and graphs and all that sort of shit, but they don't have any heat maps. Let's see. Create heat map with a heat map data set. Creates an image that displays the values. That returns a data set containing one series and holds a copy of the stuff. Alright, so it looks like this does have samples that do things. Click here to buy the developer guide, money back guarantee, site licenses. This is current year. I don't pay for fucking libraries. Yeah, the other thing is we're not distributing this shit to anybody. Like, we're not giving our Java toolchain out. so it's not really that big of a deal with license stuff. Because you can kind of, since you're not giving it to anybody, it's usually easier. Alright, so heat map utils, export, so XY dataset. Static buffered image. Create heat map image from a dataset in a paint scale. Creates an image that displays the values from the specified dataset. So heat map dataset. Get min max, sample count, get X value, get C value. Is there a set? This looks real Java. Alright, yeah, so you can set the values and they all do the thing. Well, why don't I just give it a shot to start with? This one looks better than the other. Come on, scan the fucking folder already. Yeah, all their crap is just annoying. So it looks like you just need free chart, which is actually pretty big. What do they got going on in here? It's just all class files of stuff. Alright. Well, we'll give it a college try. I don't really like including a 1.5 freaking meg chart library thing. But it's not the end of the world. Alright, so we've got our database. It's got all this stuff in it. So the next thing we want to do is make a tool which will we'll do a level heat map generator tool. Real quick, we'll do this. Alright, so what we're going to do is we have the database. Hours is fine. Clients we don't give a shit about. We're going to want the level though. Do we have the level in here? Level, yeah, so we'll have like GL Foggy Night. Actually, let's do Sunny Day because I want to. Alright, so okay, so what we want to do is we want to get the XY positions and all that crap for, let's see, we'll make 2 heat maps. We'll do it for, we'll do a heat map for ball and then like heat map for player. So why don't we start with a heat map for players. Right, so our query is going to be this reporting, what is it? Level tick data. So we'll do our query. This would just be a one-off PNG thing. So just this would be like our ETL system at night kicks over, crunches stuff out, sends us emails. You're not getting those emails actually, but Adam and I get daily emails of like how many people played the game and how many unique players and all that sort of crap. So this would be just like on that email, we'd also have like an image of, you know, heat maps for levels and stuff like that. So we're not building like a big ass web tool system. Otherwise, I'd want like a dynamic heat map with JavaScript. Alright, so we want for the past like 8 hours worth of data. So system current time millis, so this long from time is going to be this. So we're going to have to make a custom query here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let's see. Get from level tick prepared.